Investors and traders, welcome to the channel. Today is 28th of April 2024. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. In this video segment, we are going to take a look at the key financial stocks, meaning the banking stocks in the United States, and also broader ETFs such as the Regional Banking Index ETF, which is the KRE, and also the XLF. As always, this video is for educational purposes only and it's not a financial advice. I'll try to keep this video a little short and try to go through things quickly. Some of the videos in the past have been really long because I was explaining a lot of technical stuff, which for this video I'm not going to do that. So in this, what we are looking at is this trend line which has been in place and which has been capping the prices for quite a while now, and this is a weekly chart. So we have seen where our ABCD 1-to-1 price projection pattern was completed on 11th of December 2023. So it's been quite a few months now, and the price has actually just been drifting lower. And now one of the things that we're looking at is basically this point, which is the 50% around $46 per share level. As long as that stays intact, it's not taken out to the downside, perhaps another ABCD could take this higher. However, it all depends upon this trend line, if the price is able to break out of it to the upside, but so far it has not been able to do that. So that's something we need to keep in mind. The prices are being capped by this trend line. So KRE has smaller regional banks. These tend to have smaller balance sheet compared to some bigger bank like JPMorgan, for example, and these institutions also tend to be more sensitive to interest rate movement, so that could be one of the reasons why there has not been too much movement to the upside. From a momentum perspective, the price remains below the 20-week moving average, below the 200-week moving average, so another thing to take a note of. Now let's take a look at XLF. This is the weekly chart of Spider Select Sector Fund Financials. You can see compared to KRE, it has done much better. And where it is now is we were watching this as a potential double top. We don't know yet. There is no full confirmation as of it yet. So we have a question mark here. And we have had a couple of weeks which have been really negative, and what the price has done so far has actually retraced pretty much to where the 20-week moving average is, and then moved higher right into the 61.8% retracement of this swing move high to low here. Now the key question is that whether this is actually strong enough to be able to move higher than the 41.18 level, or it might do a BCD correction lower. Now the other thing to note is just the 38.2% retracement from this swing C point low to all this point higher comes around $37.65. So if we are moving into a corrective mode, which is possible because we have seen 3 consecutive negative weeks and some buying come in last week, and then the price could actually move to this 38.2% retracement. Now if we just look at the previous phase here, this was a big topping pattern. It took quite a while to form, and in fact we have this 3 drive to a top pattern here, and then also ABCD pattern completing around here as well. This move has been much stronger, so we haven't seen that kind of distribution. Maybe it just trades in a trading range for a while and then maybe retrade lower. We'll have to wait and see, but we need to be aware of that it really needs to close above the 41.18, which is 61.8% retracement on the weekly charts. Now let's take a look at the key banking stocks. So we'll start with Goldman Sachs. The Goldman Sachs stock is really bullish, and this is a weekly chart. Now we were watching for this level, which was a 78.6% retracement. It was broken out of it, then it just went and tested this resistance level and then just broke above that. That's really bullish price action for Goldman Sachs. So here what we can now do is, if we just take this high and this low, there we go, and we try to work out the expansion of this range, then the 1.272 comes around 466. So is the stock moving to 466? It did retrace here, and it was able to find support from the old resistance. So the theory goes that the old resistance became support. So as long as it keeps on moving higher, the chances are it could hit the 1.272 expansion. It's a very bullish chart. One more thing is, was it in some sort of ABCD pattern? We have actually already looked at this in the past. Let's try to do this right now. So even it's above that, so that's great. Now if we look at JP Morgan, one of the things about JP Morgan is whenever I look at this chart, I really begin to appreciate this trend line, which has been intact for such a long time. It's been a really amazing run for JP Morgan, a very well run bank in my opinion. Now this one completed this big ABCD, which is in the purple, and what we have seen is basically the price rotate lower, come right into the 20-week moving average. The momentum is fantastic because 20-week moving average is way above the 200-week moving average. But in the past we have seen some correction takes place by about this much magnitude, so that remains possible. And if there's gonna be another leg lower, it could retrace to about $175-$176 per share level, where we have the 38.2% retracement as well. So this is what we're watching in JP Morgan. Now let's take a look at Bank of America. We really like this Bank of America stock from a longer term perspective. I did a video on the cycles which are working in the stock. I'm not going to go through the details of that. You can watch, you can search in the channel about the longer term cycle analysis that was done beginning of 2024. Very interesting video for you guys who are interested in how all these ABCDs come together. So here, one of the things that we are watching for is this level here, which is 38.35. So it really needs to close above that, because the assumption is it is moving in the ABCD higher, which could take it to about $41 per share level. And it's already gone through some correction as well, right into the old range high. So the old resistance became support, so that's bullish. And if we look at a possibility of a smaller ABCD, so we can take this. Let me actually make this this one's less thick, so that way it's easier on the eyes. For bigger cycles, I like to use the thicker line. So again, the smaller one also goes around the $41 per share level. So it's gonna be a pretty important level to watch. Now if we were to take a retracement right from the highs to the lows, in fact I have that here, let me actually make it, if we get the 50%, it's already above that, so that's good. Yeah, the 61.8% retracement also comes around roughly $40.50. So this region is gonna be around $40 to $41 per share level. A really important one to watch. Is the price able to get there? If it is able to close above 30 or 35, I personally believe this is what where we are going in Bank of America, and then we'll have to wait and watch and see how this key level will play out. Let's take a look at Citigroup. Now Citigroup has been a pretty weak stock in the banking group that we take a look at. It's not been able to make a new all-time high. Look, it's been a double top and then a double top formation here, and now it's the rally has been capped by the 61.8% retracement. It's trying to make a recovery high, whether it's able to take it out, which remains to be seen. Momentum seems to be improving a little bit because the 20-week moving average has closed above the 200-week moving average, so that's one positive for the stock. Now, if you look at the news, the Citigroup or the Citibank has been going through a lot of restructuring over the course of years, particularly starting in 2023. They have massively reduced their headcount. This is something the investors like, because this means the costs are going lower, and that should improve the profitability. Although it's a bit unfortunate for the workers over there, the employees, but this kind of restructuring has been taking place. You can read about it. Whether it's going to continue, chances are when this kind of restructuring cycles happen with the redundancies. They just don't happen one and done kind of thing. They happen over cycles, and they get planned and reviewed, and then planned and executed, in my opinion. And so there might be more possibility of headcount reduction. So maybe some of that and improving profitability is being reflected in the stock price, along with some of the improvement in the macro conditions, perhaps in the financial sectors. But we can see that this stock is massively lagging some of the really good performers such as JPMorgan, Goldman Sachs, and Bank of America. Now let's take a look at Morgan Stanley. So the Morgan Stanley stock is stuck in a range. This 78.6% retracement is just capping it really well around the $94 mark level. For it to move higher in a possible excuse me, ABCD fashion higher, which could in fact see the top of this range being tested. Let me actually bring this and highlight this here. Around $101 per share level. It really needs to close above the 78.6% retracement. Otherwise, it's just a range bound between the 38.2% retracement from the lows to the highs, and from this swing high to this swing low around this 78.6% retracement, with a fair amount of resistance coming from the structure. If we just look on the left hand side, this is the resistance, this is the resistance, and it's for the third time just hanging around there trying to break out of it. We also have this massive wedge pattern formation here, and from the downside, if it takes these trend line out to the downside, 1.272 comes around 62.61, followed by 53.97, which is going to be 1.618, which is going to take it right towards the 61.8% retracement, filling in a number of gaps around here and close to this structure coming back in from the January 2020. Again, it all depends upon this 78.6% retracement. Last but not least, let's take a look at Wells Fargo. So the Wells Fargo stock has been doing pretty well. This is the weekly chart, and we had identified this ABCD pattern taking us right into this zone around here, and it has actually surpassed that zone, taking out these highs. Still not able to make a new all-time high from 2018, but it's been a pretty good run. And this is the stock which had, let me actually move to the daily chart, which had fair amount of negative, not negative, but bearish symmetry patterns around here. Whenever it had rallied by this amount, we had seen strong resistance come in and the stock sell. So the first time we began to notice was that around here, this bearish symmetry was getting broken. That was indicating to us that something has changed, the way the stock has traditionally moved in a previous cycle, and maybe this is a start of a new cycle coming in from a bottom around the 4th of October 2023. And of course, we have seen a massive I should say a nice rally to the upside. Now the key question is that whether this has a potential to be a double bottom. If we just a double top here, if we look at a high to high cycle and we just take this high around here, and then so this high to high, and we just projected the high should have come in around 18th of March, so almost a month ago. And for a while it was just stuck in here, and then a couple of weeks ago it moved above that. So maybe the cycle what we have is a little bit more approximate. So we'll just keep on watching this, and there's a possibility that the momentum is strong for the stock. It might actually go and tackle these all-time highs from 2018. However, if it begins to close below the $55 mark, then there is a potential that we might have seen a double top formation here, which could see the stock move lower, move right between somewhere in the 20 and 200 week moving average, and maybe even come and test this structural high around 47.25 level. So this is what we are watching in Wells Fargo. Thank you very much for watching the video. Good luck and good trading. If you like how we look at the markets and do the technical analysis, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like our videos, then please also subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Good luck and good trading. Speak to you guys soon.